Hello there everybody, my name is Voxel and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be giving you 30 tips to help improve your sniper gameplay, so let's just jump right into this. Tip number 1 is Scout, Medic, Sniper, Engineer, Pyro, and Spy are 1 headshot classes. Heavy is 2 headshots. Soldier and Devilman are 1 headshot and 1 body shot, scoped or unscoped. Those are just a few useful facts when sniping. Tip number 2 is just because you have a Razorback, it does not make you safe from spies. I can't count the number of times I find a sniper with a Razorback and proceed to just shoot him in the head with my Ambassador. Just an easy kill. Tip number 3 is when sniping, if you're scoped in for approximately the time it takes you to fill your charge 2 to 3 times, you're in a bad spot and you should try sniping from elsewhere. Tip number 4 is learn to predict movement. Instead of trying to snap to their head, aim where their head will be in 0.5 seconds. Tip number 5 is get to know your hitboxes. You don't have to be right on the head to get a kill. The box extends above, below, and slightly to the left and right of the head. Tip number 6 is when dealing with a heavy medic combo, or any medic at all, try to kill the medic before going for a headshot on the heavy. The medic's Uber is the problem, not the heavy. Without his medic, he'll probably die. Tip number 7 is don't be so insanely focused on headshots. Yes, you have to try to make them when you can, but don't be overly concerned with it, especially in a group of people. A fully charged shot can weaken most of the heavier classes past half health, excluding overheal. Tip number 8 is a fully charged shot does about 160 damage. This kills most classes, including the medic. Always try and hit these classes with a body shot, as most are too fast for an accurate headshot, unless you're good enough for that. Number 9 is when going for sniper v sniper, go at the enemy sniper from a different angle. Attacking him directly in field of his view is next to impossible if he's decent, because he's already claimed that territory and most likely has a fully charged headshot. Try and find a different area that he can't see or isn't paying attention to, like the bridge underneath Double Cross or from the sewer entrances in 2 Fort. Tip number 10, simple tip most people don't do, is put your crosshairs on the enemy's head or where you think the head will be before you zoom in. This is sort of hard, but it does work. Tip number 11 is, this may seem obvious, but just in case you hadn't noticed, you've got a laser sight on the end of your rifle that leaves a dot where you are aiming. You can give yourself away by aiming at the gate in the beginning of a payload match, for example, or staying scoped at a wall. It took me a little while to notice the sniper dots and realize what they are. Judging by the amount of red dots I see on a gate at the beginning of a match, I figure not everyone realizes this either. Woo! How do I grammar? Tip number 12 is move around a lot. If you stand in one area, spies and other snipers will pick you off very quickly. Tip number 13 is don't charge your shot and slowly walk around the corner. You are just begging to be shot. Tip number 14 is find a good mouse sensitivity and stick with it. A lot of people I know, a few friends, are like, hey, if I change my sensitivity every weekend, maybe I'll get better and learn more, but I found that does not work for me. Tip number 15 is, more importantly, enable raw mouse input. This allows TF2 to bypass whatever settings Windows is applying to your mouse movement. Acceleration and precision boosting, or booster, are both bad for sniping. Tip number 16 is move your dot to wherever head level is in the region you're aiming at. And instead of moving your mouse left and right, step left or right. I find that the constant speed from walking helps me more reliably predict my shots. It also makes sure that I don't accidentally shoot over their heads. Tip number 17 is when you meet another sniper, scoping in after the other sniper scopes in will give you an advantage. Thanks for Star for telling me that. Tip number 18 is only play sniper if your team doesn't have way more than enough. It will definitely be more useful. Tip number 19 is explore maps when you can find unusual angles to snipe from. The more nests you can shoot from, the harder it will be for your enemy to predict where you are shooting from. Tip number 20, almost a number 30, is fire your SMG in spurts to conserve your clip if you have to reload and your enemy is still standing. Tip number 21 is don't be like the people I see on 2 Fort inching their way out from the corner. If I'm already out, I can see you before you see me, and you're just standing there. Why not jump out, keep moving, find the enemy, zoom in for a quick headshot, keep moving, and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Tip number 22 is pay attention to the charge meter. Depending on how full it is, decide if you need to go for a headshot or a body shot. Tip number 23, crouching makes it easier to shoot you in the head. Don't crouch for long. Tip number 24, no scopes always do 50 damage or are perfectly accurate to your crosshair. If you can, hitting someone with 2 to 3 shots can usually take them out at close range unless they are a full health soldier or an overhealed heavy. Ugh. Tip number 25, counter snipe. There's nothing more annoying for a team than when there's a well-protected sniper holding a choke point. Tip number 26, throw Girardi at everything. Tip number 27, don't shoot people with Uber. It is a waste of ammunition. Wait for the invulnerability to wear off and hit them hard with a headshot. Tip number 28, the SMG is for emergency situations only. Your spy, out of rifle bullets, etc., etc., etc. is not your primary weapon. Tip number 29, if you plan to defend the control point near spawn, help the entries build first during the setup and then switch to sniper. And number 30, the greatest sniper tip of all. Try pointing on people's faces and then shooting. Whoa, mind blown. 30 sniper tips. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please favorite, comment, like, subscribe, whatever you think this video is worthy of, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Thank you very much.